I want to share with you a picture of some young dudes from South Korea. You've probably heard of them, but I want to talk about what this has got to be involved in your goal setting. So let me just share with you the picture I have in mind of these young dudes. Can you see that picture? You've got these. Do you recognise them? These are the guys from BTS. They're a boy band. They look great, don't they? They're a boy band. Hey, let's pop in and say hello to you, shall we? Let's pop in. Hey, I'm over here, so let's pop across here so you can see these handsome young lads. Now, this boy band BTS is extremely popular, and they've got a record label, Hybe, and Hybe are making a lot of money from them, recordings and gigs and that sort of thing. And they're young and they'll go on for a long time, and they just love them all across the Far East and to a degree the Western world as well. But they've had a problem because they've all been called up for national service. Here's a lovely picture. Can you love that? All these young lads, they got their help. The South Korea, of course, as you're probably aware, is like really close to North Korea. So like, and old Kim keeps throwing nukes all over the world and everything. So they do need a big army, and they've got a compulsory national service. And they all had to join. And the problem with this, you see, because the record label were going to lose a lot of money. And I read an article in The Economist, and it was $768 million, or pounds, that they're going to, it's parity anyway, isn't it? They're going to lose because these dudes have got to go and do 2 or 3 years of national service. Now, the point behind that is that Hybe, of course, the record label, make money from this band. And it was a situation outside of their control that determined their profits. And there I want to go with you for your goals for this year, next year, year after. And I want to share with you a thing called PESTLE. You've probably heard of it before. But I want you to be able to think of the things outside of your control that might affect your mortgage business and what you can do about that. So let's take a look at some of these. Oh, by the way, national service is not going to affect you because we abolished it in the year I was born, 1963. And my dad served national service, so did Shelley's dad as well. So, and my dad made corporal, apparently. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this concept that I've got for you. Now, the one I want to share with you is this one here called PESTLE. And this is a way of reminding yourself of the outside influences that might affect your business model. Let's take a look at these. The first one is political. Now, politics, budgets, Brexit, it all affects people's business. Lockdown, COVID obviously didn't affect us, but the political implications of that did affect the mortgage business. So P is a really important one. Not a lot you can do about it unless you want to go and lobby Parliament, but we haven't got the money for that, which is why a lot of people lobby Parliament, which is why a lot of people donate to the political parties, or businesses anyway, so they can lobby them. But political changes, housing market changes, new initiatives come in via political means. So you just need to keep an eye on that, really, what's going on there. The second one is economical, the economy. The economy is something that we can't control, and it's hit us hard this year, hasn't it, with inflation, interest rates, Bank of England changing interest rates. We had the September mini budget, which is both political and economical, and this hit us hard. So why am I sharing this with you? I'm asking you to think about this, see what you can do to minimize the impact of these things, because they will affect you. They will affect you. Now, the S is for social. This is how people feel about things, culture, the social environment that we're in. And we have an environment in this country of buying homes. We did have a generation rent thing going on for a little while, but now it's people want to buy their own home, and that's great for us. People therefore want a mortgage, they want financing, or they want to buy to let, or whatever it is. So social helps us because of the culture that we live in as well. The T is technological, technology, IT. Again, the rise of the internet in the mid-90s. When I first connected to the internet in 1995, I knew it was going to affect my business massively. The people I worked for didn't, and they didn't plan for it, and therefore they failed accordingly. Now, technology is something that hasn't really affected, if I'm honest, mortgage advisors. Yeah, you've got fancy apps, and you've got laptops with CRM systems that your network give you, but they're merely to keep an eye on you and what you get up to, really. You've got software that searches lenders, of course you have, and all that kind of stuff, but that hasn't really affected the marketplace technology yet. It will do, but that's coming. The L, because I go by the English spelling here rather than the American one, legal. Now these are laws that are passed, and we're talking mostly about our beloved regulator, who passes rules, and we have to abide by them. Consumer duty is one, for example. You've got the appointed representative situation going on, which is going to get meatier and meatier as smaller mortgage brokers and financial advisors start to struggle. So we'll see that coming into it as well. And the last one is E, environmental. The environment and how it affects things. That's affected my world more than yours probably, but I want you to think about that, because I deliver 98% of my training and education, if you like, via these means. And nobody's travelled to go this way. I'm not using a car or a plane. Anybody can watch or listen to this, be they any type of person. It's not debated, but somebody doesn't have to go on a lift, for example, to go to a training room. Might struggle in a wheelchair. This is totally all-encompassing, and you might want to think about that too. So PESTLE, that's the American spelling, by the way, is what you want to think about. So what do you want to do about it then? Well, there's not a lot you can do, because this is going to affect you in negative and positive ways. But you do need to think about diversifying. I've talked about this before. If you diversify, you see, you start to avoid some of the issues here. So, for example, housing market, right now, under the economics, interest rates going up, Bank of England, inflation, housing market plummeting, whatever. You can't do much about that, and it's affecting your prime business. Now, if you haven't diversified, you're going to be affected by that massively. Back in 2008, when we had the financial crash, I was pretty much 100% in the mortgage game. And the crash happened, and it affected me dramatically. I hadn't diversified. I had to very quickly, and I diversified into financial advisor training, which we're doing again this year as well. Because financial advisors, wealth managers, pension planners, those sort of people, don't tend to get affected so much by small law changes, because they affect people's holistic planning as opposed to just their mortgage. So think about diversifying. I've banged on the drum about it before, but you do need to think about that this year. Anyway, so that's BTS, lovely band, National Service. Elvis Presley apparently went into the American National Service in 1959. And he could have got out of it, but he stayed in. He made sergeant, apparently, and a lot of money too. He did a lot of movies, didn't he? G.I. Elvis. He was a real hero. Maybe that's what BTS are doing. Maybe it's a publicity stunt. Hey, I never thought about that. Maybe Hybe are behind this, and they're going to make a load more money as a result. We'll see, shall we? So that's PESTLE, managing your business. I hope that's been useful for you.